there's actually legislation being offered up in Harrisburg now by my colleague Martina White, who's up out of the Northeast, which works to try to define what a squatter is, but also to require landlords to sign an affidavit acknowledging that they are not actual tenants in the property, and essentially handing it over to our local police department to remove the individual from the actual property. But we also know, again, I'm all about balance. We also know that there are a significant number of tenants that have, non-traditional agreements with their landlord. There's a significant number, I think it's close to like 20 to 30% of tenants that actually don't have formal leasing agreements. So we just have to ensure that those type of verbal agreements are being acknowledged and not used as a tool to remove a tenant with a bad actor that we might experience across the city of Philadelphia. The bill hasn't come through committee, but it is a conversation that my colleague Representative White and also my colleague Darisha Parker are working on to kind of try to find the best road forward, because again, it is an issue that I experienced in my own district. I represent here obviously, but also a section called Overbrook Park, where we had a squatter move in and literally damaged the property, almost burnt down the home, which impacted the homeowner next door, and it was very difficult to get the individual out. We also know City Councilman Curtis Jones, I think, has a squatter bill.
There was one in 2018 that was never passed into law.
Is it David O?
Yeah, it was David O.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
I'm the chair of the Urban Affairs, or Democratic chair of the Urban Affairs and Housing Committee, and we just moved a version of the very bill, the Senate version of that bill. Neither, I think, is law, and so there is opportunity to engage on that.
In my district, I have close to a 60-70% homeowner district, and squatters have become a problem, and we have to find a way to again address it, but doing it with dignity, but also ensuring that you all aren't penalized as a result of someone breaking in your home.
There's two issues. One is defining who's a squatter, and I think that's where it is very complicated, because there are lots of folks who have a legal interest in the property in some way. And then the second thing is figuring out who removes them and how do you get removed, right? So we do have a system in Philadelphia. You can file an action in Jackman in the Court of Common Pleas. I'm sure Paul Cohen has told you all about it. I think Hapco can help support you on that. So there's a process. Is it as fast as municipal court? No, it is not. There are ways in which to get expedited hearings for emergency basis. We want to make sure that there is a clear system and there's rules for this. And so I'm happy to continue talking to Paul to see if there's a way that we can make this work.
So the actual bill that we're referencing went to the governor's desk. So that's why I figured, let me look it up first.
Amazing.
There's a procedure through the police department to deal with squatters. The challenge is getting the police to understand that this is what they need to do. So if you look on the Hapco website, there's a police directive that's on there under the squatters listing. Read that police directive, and if you do have a squatter situation, follow it. Call the police, have them come out, show them that directive. If they won't act, then you can get a supervisor involved, and then hopefully that supervisor will come out, and there's a procedure for dealing with that squatter.
And if you want to look up the language for the bill or have recommendations on how to improve it, it's Senate Bill 1236.